Welcome back to the deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Today we're diving deep into, you guessed it, innovation.
Oh, innovation.
A word that's everywhere, but what does it actually even mean?
Yeah.
We're going beyond just the hype today, using research from business expert Kenneth Kahn
Okay.
to understand not just the definition of innovation, but how do we actually make it happen?
How to operationalize it, yeah.
Yes. So to kind of set the stage here, Kahn points out this big misconception that people have about innovation. I
Right.
think it always has to be, something super radical,
The next big thing,
groundbreaking, some huge invention.
like the iPhone moment.
Yeah.
Everyone's chasing the iPhone moment.
Right. But the reality is
So-
incremental improvements can be just as vital, maybe even more so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, how many versions of the iPhone have we seen since that first iPhone?
Oh, so many.
And each one has been innovating in smaller ways.
Yeah, so it's not always about let's just totally reinvent the wheel. It's like, how do we make this wheel roll smoother or faster?
Exactly. Just refine it.
Yeah.
Make it better.
And Kahn really emphasizes that just being innovative, like having that characteristic, isn't the same as actual innovation.
So good.
It's like you have the potential to do it, but are you actually doing it? Are you getting those results?
Right. Like, are you actually delivering something?
Yeah. Okay. So how does Kahn define innovation then? What's the framework we're going to use today?
So he breaks it down into three key pillars: outcome, process, and mindset. And they all kind of work together
I like that.
to really understand how innovation works.
Okay. So let's unpack that first pillar then, outcome.
Yes.
What are we actually aiming for when we talk about innovation? What's the result we want?
Well, the first thing to understand is that it's not just about new products.
Okay.
I mean, that's a big part of it.
Right.
What he calls product innovation.
Sure.
But there's so many other forms.
Wow,
And you-
interesting.
Process innovation, marketing innovation.
Right.
You can even innovate your entire business model.
Wow. So it's not just about coming up with like a gadget or a gizmo. It's like, how do we work better? How do we reach our customers better?
Yeah,
How does the whole structure of this business actually function?
exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And even within product innovation,
Okay.
he outlines 7 distinct types.
7.
Yeah, ranging from something as simple as cost reduction
Okay.
to creating a brand new market.
Oh, wow. So give us some examples. I'm all about a good story to really illustrate this.
Sure. So think about Nintendo, right? They slashed the price of the Wii.
Right.
They didn't change the product itself, but that price drop was a brilliant innovation.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It made it accessible to way more people, and they grabbed a huge chunk of the market.
Right, like it was the same product, but it unlocked a whole new level of the game by being affordable.
Exactly. Cost reduction.
Yeah, and it's interesting how these different types of product innovation tie back to those classic marketing strategies, right?
Yeah.
Market penetration, product development, all that stuff.
Absolutely. So like cost reduction, product improvement,
Huh.
those usually fall under market penetration.
So going after more of the existing market share, right?
Right. Bigger slice of the pie.
Okay.
And when you're talking about creating those line extensions.
Right, like all the different iPhone variations.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's product development.
So you're giving your existing customer base more to love, basically, but with a twist.
Exactly. It's less risky than creating something totally new.
Right, okay. And then what about when a company takes an existing product but introduces it to a whole new market?
That's market development.
Okay.
Like Kahn uses the example of a pharmaceutical company bringing an existing drug to China.
Oh, same product, but a whole new set of potential customers.
Right. Huge growth potential.
Okay, so those are all like smart, maybe less radical innovations. What about those new to the world innovations?
Right.
The ones that just totally disrupt everything.
The game changers.
Yeah,
That's diversification. High stakes, high reward.
okay.
Think of the first drone delivery service,
Oh, yeah.
or the invention of a new drug for a previously incurable disease.
Right, totally new.
Big risks, but also massive rewards.
Okay, so now that we kind of understand the what of innovation, the different types of outcomes we can aim for,
Yeah,
how about we move on to the how?
right. So that's where process comes in, that second pillar.
Okay.
He emphasizes you need a structured process for innovation to thrive.
Hey.
It's not enough to just have ideas.
Right.
You've got to move from that initial spark to actual implementation.
So what does that process actually look like? How do we make sure those good ideas don't just stay as scribbles on a whiteboard?
Right. Well, he highlights this 3-phase model: discover, develop, deliver.
Discover, develop, deliver. Okay, break that down for us.
So in the discover phase,
Yeah.
you're Looking for opportunities, problems to solve, needs to meet.
Okay.
You're scanning the market,
Okay.
paying attention to trends, and really listening to your customers.
So being actively curious, observant.
Exactly. Like a detective.
Okay.
And then comes the develop phase,
Right.
right? Where you take those promising ideas
Mm-hmm.
and you really flesh them out. You build prototypes, test the concepts,
Okay.
refine your solution.
But it's that deliver phase that really sets innovation apart, right?
Yes.
It's one thing to come up with a cool idea. It's another thing to get it out into the world.
Yeah, and that's where he really draws a distinction between innovation and just ideation or invention.
Uh-huh.
You can have the most brilliant concept, but if it never sees the light of day,
Yeah.
if it doesn't reach your target audience,
Right. It's got to get out there.
it's not truly innovation.
Like it's that saying, a ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for.
Exactly.
Yeah, the ideas have got to set sail.
Mm-hmm.
So the deliver phase is all about actually making that happen, right?
Yes. Getting it into the hands of users, seeing how they interact with it, refining it based on their feedback.
So it's an ongoing process, not just a one-time event.
Right.
So this is where it gets really exciting for me. What are some specific strategies or processes that can help us in this journey from that initial idea to actually making it a reality? What helps us make sure that we're not just launching ships, but we're launching them successfully?
Okay. So one process Kahn really champions is what's called the stage gate process.
Oh, okay.
Think of it as like a series of checkpoints
All right.
along the development path of your innovation.
Gotcha.
At each gate,
Yeah.
you evaluate the progress
Okay.
and make a decision.
So you're saying like,
Do we move forward,
okay.
make adjustments, or even kill the project if it's just not panning out?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's about managing risk
Yeah.
and increasing your chances of success.
Like those regular reality checks
Yeah.
built in. Make sure you're not wasting time or money.
Exactly. And research actually shows that companies using StageGate have shorter development times
Oh, really?
and better success rates
Interesting.
than those who are just kind of winging it.
Yeah, just going for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk us through those stages.
Sure.
What's happening at each of these gates?
So usually it starts with idea generation,
Okay,
gathering a bunch of potential concepts.
right. Brainstorming.
Yeah. And then at the first gate,
Uh-huh.
you do what's called a pre-technical evaluation.
Okay.
So this is where you're screening those initial ideas for feasibility.
So you're weeding out the weaker ideas before you invest too much.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do some basic market research, analyze the competition,
Uh-huh.
look for any red flags.
Yeah, okay.
The ideas that make it through that first gate,
You're right.
they move on to business case preparation.
Okay.
Now, here's where you really get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
Defining your target market, outlining your marketing and sales strategies,
Mm.
estimating costs, and projecting potential revenue.
Okay, so this is where you're like, all right, is this cool idea actually going to make business sense?
Exactly.
Can it thrive out in the world?
A lot of ideas don't survive this stage.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but if your business case looks solid,
Okay.
you move on to technical development and testing.
Okay.
This is where the engineers and developers really shine,
Yeah.
building prototypes, running those rigorous tests,
Yeah.
refining the innovation based on data and feedback.
So it's like this constant cycle.
Yes.
Build, test, learn, refine.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And remember, those gates are there at each stage.
Right.
It's not just blindly moving forward.
Yeah.
It's about constantly evaluating.
Making sure you're still on track.
Exactly. Is the project on track? Is it meeting its milestones?
Uh-huh.
Does it still have the potential to succeed?
Okay. So let's say we've passed all the gates. Everything's looking good.
Yeah.
We're ready for launch.
Yes.
Showtime.
But even after launch, innovation isn't over.
Oh.
It's about gathering feedback from users, monitoring how your innovation performs in the real world,
Right.
and making ongoing adjustments.
So you're saying it's not just about launching the rocket.
Right.
It's about spearing it and making sure it's on course.
Exactly. The best innovations are constantly evolving.
Okay. I like that.
And here's where Kahn adds another really interesting layer.
Okay.
He says, to really maximize efficiency,
Yeah.
we need to embrace working in parallel,
In parallel.
not sequentially.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Explain that a little bit.
So if you waited for one stage to be completely finished
Uh-huh.
before starting the next,
Yeah.
the whole process would take forever.
Right. It would be so slow.
But if you can have multiple things happening at once,
Yeah.
you save so much time and you gain valuable insights along the way.
So instead of waiting for like the market research to be totally done
Right.
before you start building a prototype,
Exactly.
you could have both of those things happening at the same time.
Yeah, and maybe even have your marketing team starting to brainstorm some initial campaign ideas.
Oh, wow. So you're really encouraging this like cross-functional
Exactly.
communication and
It
collaboration.
leads to a much more holistic and integrated approach to innovation.
I love that. It really challenges that traditional siloed approach that so many companies get stuck in.
Right.
It's like you're breaking down those walls,
Exactly.
creating this more dynamic and interconnected environment.
And he gives this great example.
Okay.
Lego completely redesigned their offices
Oh, really?
to encourage this kind of parallel thinking and collaboration.
So they made the physical space reflect the
Yes,
way they wanted to work.
exactly.
Yeah.
Open spaces, flexible workstations,
Uh-huh.
lots of opportunities for people from different teams to just bump into each other,
Oh, I love that.
spark new ideas.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense because innovation really doesn't happen in isolation.
Oh,
It's that energy and the collaboration that really makes it thrive.
absolutely.
Okay, so we've got the what of innovation, the outcomes, we've got the how, the process,
Right.
but there's still this element of like, how do we cultivate the right environment
Yes.
for all of this to really flourish?
So that's where that third pillar comes in, mindset.
Okay.
This is all about the internal beliefs
Okay.
and creating a culture
Huh.
that supports risk-taking, experimentation, and collaboration.
Oh, right. So it's not just about what you do, it's about how you think.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How do we build that innovation engine
Okay.
within ourselves and our teams?
So Kahn identifies 5 key skills
Okay.
that individuals and organizations need to cultivate:
All right, I'm ready.
associating, questioning, observing, experimenting, and networking.
Oh, I love that.
It's so much better than just saying, be more innovative.
Totally.
These are actionable skills.
Yeah, give us the breakdown. How do these translate into real-world actions?
Okay, so let's start with associating.
Okay.
This is about making connections
Uh-huh.
between seemingly unrelated ideas.
Okay.
You know, you're that person in the meeting who's like, this reminds me of something completely different.
Oh, I love those moments.
Yeah.
It's like you're seeing the world through a new lens.
Exactly. And those unexpected connections
Yeah,
can spark really innovative solutions.
I love it.
And then there's questioning.
Okay.
This is all about challenging assumptions.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
taking things at face value.
Okay.
It's asking why 5 times
Oh, yes.
to get to the root of a problem or an opportunity.
Don't just accept the status quo. You got to poke at it.
Exactly.
Prod it. Turn it upside down.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
observation
Okay.
is all about being present and attentive
Okay.
to the world around you.
So being mindful.
Exactly. Noticing patterns, identifying unmet needs,
Yeah.
even just paying attention to what's frustrating you in your daily life.
Okay.
All of that can fuel innovation.
So become like an anthropologist of your own world.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's experimenting.
Okay.
This is where we roll up our sleeves
Yeah.
and put those ideas to the test.
Try things out.
Exactly.
Okay.
And experimentation isn't just about big, formal experiments.
Right.
It can be as simple as trying a new approach to a task
Uh-huh.
or testing out a new tool.
Yeah, just being willing to play around a little bit.
Yeah, the key is to step outside your comfort zone and learn from both your successes and failures.
That fail fast, learn fast mentality.
Exactly.
I like it.
And then finally, we have networking.
Okay.
Now, this isn't just about collecting business cards.
Right.
It's about actively building relationships with people from diverse backgrounds and perspectives.
Yeah, recognizing that you don't have all the answers yourself.
Right.
Innovation thrives on those different viewpoints.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those diverse perspectives can challenge our assumptions, spark new ideas,
Yeah.
and help us see problems and solutions in a whole new light.
This is all so insightful. I feel like I'm already like starting to shift my mindset a little bit
Yeah.
about approaching challenges more innovatively.
That's the goal.
Yeah, and these skills aren't static, right?
Yeah.
They're something we can keep working on,
Absolutely.
refining, building that innovation muscle.
Exactly. The more you exercise it,
Yeah.
the stronger it gets.
And as individuals are building those skills,
Yeah.
it starts to create this ripple effect
Yes.
throughout the whole organization.
It's like you're building a culture of innovation.
It's a ground up.
Exactly.
I love that.
And that leads us to another interesting concept
Okay.
that Kahn highlights,
Hmm.
the T-shaped
No.
or even pie-shaped individual.
Okay, I've heard those terms thrown around, but I'm not really sure what they mean.
Okay.
Can you break it down for us?
Sure. So a T-shaped person
Uh-huh.
has deep expertise in one area.
Okay.
That's the vertical stroke of the T.
Okay.
but they also have a broad understanding of other disciplines.
Oh.
That's represented by the horizontal stroke.
Okay,
So think
right.
of it like a generalist
Yeah.
with a specialty.
Okay, so they have that deep knowledge in one area, but they can also connect
Yes.
with, understand people from other departments and areas of expertise.
They can speak the language of
Hmm.
marketing, of finance, of engineering, even if their core expertise is in design.
They're like translators of innovation.
I love that.
They're making sure everyone is on the same page,
Yeah.
working towards that common goal.
Exactly. And the
Right.
pie-shaped individual is similar,
Okay.
but they have deep expertise in two areas instead of just one.
Oh, so they have two vertical strokes on that pie.
Exactly.
Uh.
They're even more versatile and adaptable,
Wow.
able to connect ideas across an even wider range of disciplines.
They're like those Renaissance folks who could do everything.
Exactly.
Paint, sculpt, invent.
Yes.
Amazing.
And in today's world, those T-shaped and pie-shaped individuals are so valuable.
That makes sense.
They're the ones who can connect the dots, see the bigger picture,
Uh-huh.
and really drive innovation
Yeah.
in this complex, interconnected world.
So how do we cultivate these multifaceted individuals? Is it something you're just born with?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And while some people might naturally be drawn to this kind of multidisciplinary thinking,
Uh-huh.
I really believe it's something we can all cultivate and develop.
So it's not just about finding these rare unicorns.
Right.
It's about helping everyone on your team
Exactly.
tap into that inner T shape or pie shape.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And there's so many ways we can do that.
Like what?
Well, we can encourage people to take on projects outside their comfort zone,
Okay.
attend conferences and workshops in different disciplines,
Mm-hmm.
shadow colleagues in other departments,
Okay.
read widely, and explore new fields of knowledge.
So it's about fostering that culture of continuous learning,
Yes.
both at the individual level
Yeah.
and at the organizational level.
Exactly.
I like that.
And it's also about recognizing and rewarding these skills.
Okay.
When you value and celebrate multidisciplinary thinking,
Yeah.
you're sending a clear message that this is the kind of talent we want.
We want to attract and retain.
Exactly.
It's not just about what we do.
Right.
It's about how we think.
Exactly. We need to shift from seeing limitations to seeing possibilities,
I love that.
and from fearing failure
Yeah.
to embracing it as a learning opportunity.
So powerful.
But there's one more really important point that Kahn makes about mindset.
Okay, what is it?
He says, we need to view success and failure as two sides of the same coin when it comes to innovation.
Okay, unpack that for me a little bit.
Yeah.
How can failure be a good thing?
Well, it's not about celebrating failure for its own sake, right?
Right.
But if we're really pushing boundaries, venturing into uncharted territory,
Yeah.
we're bound to stumble along the way.
You're going to hit some roadblocks.
Exactly. And the key is to create a culture where those stumbles are seen as learning opportunities,
Yeah.
not like career-ending disasters.
It's like detaching the stigma from failure
Yeah.
and seeing it as valuable data, right?
Yes.
Helps you refine your approach and ultimately get closer to success.
And Kahn emphasizes that leadership plays a huge role in fostering that kind of environment.
Okay.
If leaders punish failure or create this culture of fear,
Right.
it just stifles creativity and risk-taking.
Shuts everything down.
But if they openly share their own mistakes
Yeah.
and frame setbacks as valuable learning experiences,
Uh-huh.
it creates this psychologically safe space for people to experiment and innovate.
It's like leading by example,
Right.
showing that it's okay to color outside the lines, even if it means making a mess sometimes.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to those 5 key skills we discussed.
Mm.
Associating, questioning, observing, experimenting, and networking.
Right.
These aren't just individual skills. They're also principles that organizations can embrace.
To foster that culture of innovation.
Exactly.
Okay, so how does that look in the real world? How does a company actually embed these principles into its DNA?
Well, think about the physical space where people work.
Okay.
Kahn talks about how Lego redesigned their offices.
Oh, yeah, they're all about innovation.
Exactly, to encourage interaction and collaboration,
Right.
open spaces, flexible workstations.
I see.
They even have playful design elements.
Okay.
It creates an environment where people are just more likely to bump into each other, share ideas,
Yeah.
spark those aha moments.
They're designing the space to reflect how they want people to work.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And it goes beyond just the physical space, too.
Okay.
Organizations can implement systems and processes
Uh-huh.
that encourage experimentation and reward creative problem solving.
Right. So you're not just saying be innovative, you're actually setting up the structures
Right.
to make it happen.
They can create internal incubators or innovation labs
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
where employees can work on passion projects or explore new ideas.
So they're giving people the time and space to really dive in.
Exactly. It's about creating those spaces,
Yeah.
both physical and metaphorical,
Right.
where people feel empowered to take risks and push boundaries.
Okay.
And don't forget about providing opportunities for learning and development.
Professional development, yeah.
Encourage employees to attend conferences and workshops, pursue cross-training,
I see.
read widely, stay curious.
So it's investing in your people,
Yes,
giving them the tools they need to grow and innovate.
exactly. And don't underestimate the power of simply recognizing and celebrating innovation.
Oh, yeah, shout it out.
When you publicly acknowledge and reward those who are pushing the boundaries, you know,
Uh-huh.
it sends such a powerful message to the whole organization.
It shows you value that.
Exactly.
It's everyone's job to innovate,
Exactly.
not just the select few.
Right. And, as we've been talking about Kahn's framework, it's really become clear to me that innovation is a journey, not a destination.
It's ongoing.
Yeah, it's this ongoing process of learning, experimenting, adapting, and evolving.
It's about embracing that growth mindset, being open to new ideas.
Exactly. And remember, innovation doesn't always have to be big and flashy.
Right.
Sometimes the most impactful innovations are those small, incremental improvements that we make every day.
It's those little opportunities to make things better.
Exactly. Streamlining a process, finding a more creative solution,
Yeah.
or simply bringing a fresh perspective to a challenge.
Love it.
Those small wins can add up to big progress over time.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive into innovation, what's the one key takeaway you want to leave our listeners with? What's that piece of advice that will empower them to be more innovative?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember is that innovation is within everyone's reach.
It's not this magical thing.
That's not some magical talent.
Yeah.
It's a skill set, a mindset, a process.
You can learn it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So start small, experiment, collaborate, and don't be afraid to fail. Embrace the journey, and I think you'll be amazed at what you can achieve.
Love it. The future is not something that happens to us.
Right.
It's something we create.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go out there and innovate. Until next time, keep diving deep.